Ladies and gentlemen, Donald Trump is recently back in the news trying to push his foot through the White House door again. So, Trump is calling for a new election that could reinstate him as president. And don't you have a constitution that spells out how these elections work? I mean, if that's the case, any former president can call for new elections and get back in the White House. And I mean, to me, I don't understand why Trump don't realize that is unrealistic and historically never happened before, and it's not going to happen in his case at all. But he is still on this thing about getting back in the White House. Well, you would have to run in 2024, but you just can't scream for a new election and then it just manifests itself and this is what happens. It doesn't work that way. But I guess when you are privileged and used to getting your way all the time, I guess you believe anything is possible. That sounds like arrogance to me. But y'all, this is what Trump is requesting. I'm going to go ahead and play this audio from Newsweek.
Trump calls for a new election that could reinstate him as president. Former President Donald Trump says he is using new conclusive information regarding President Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden, and the FBI's alleged burying of an investigation into his laptop to challenge the 2020 election and call for a new, impromptu election entirely. So now it comes out, conclusively, that the FBI buried the Hunter Biden laptop story before the election, knowing that, if they didn't, Trump would have easily won the 2020 presidential election. The former president said Monday in a Truth Social post, "This is massive fraud and election interference at a level never seen before in our country. Remedy, declare the rightful winner and this would be the minimal solution, declare the 2020 election irreparably compromised and have a new election immediately." On Thursday, Facebook founder and Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg told Joe Rogan on his podcast that the FBI warned Facebook prior to the 2020 election not to spread alleged Russian disinformation in association with the New York Post story about Hunter Biden's laptop. It led to a meaningful decrease in the story appearing on users' news feeds within the final week of the election campaign, according to Zuckerberg. Zuckerberg's comments aren't completely new but shed more light into what he testified on October 28, 2020, before the Senate Commerce Committee. Zuckerberg testified that the FBI instructed Facebook to be on high alert and sensitivity if a trove of documents appeared, that we should view them with suspicion that it might be part of a foreign manipulation attempt. Republican Senator Ron Johnson of Wisconsin has made new allegations about Hunter Biden, saying the FBI cannot be trusted with the handling of Hunter Biden's laptop due to new whistleblower information he allegedly received. Information from an alleged whistleblower claimed that FBI officials would not look at the contents of the laptop while inside a Wilmington, Delaware, computer store, Johnson wrote in an August 24 letter to Inspector General Michael Horowitz. Johnson also alleged that FBI officials on the scene admitted they were not going to change the outcome of the election again, in reference to former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton and her well-publicized emails prior to the 2016 election. Johnson originally asked Zuckerberg about the laptop at the aforementioned Senate hearing, asking the CEO whether the FBI made contact about the Hunter Biden story. Zuckerberg said the FBI did not mention that story specifically and said Facebook didn't censor the content. "We flagged it for fact-checkers to review, and pending that review, we temporarily constrained its distribution to make sure that it didn't spread wildly while it was being reviewed," Zuckerberg said. "But it's not up to us either to determine whether it's Russian interference, nor whether it's true. We rely on the FBI intelligence and fact-checkers to do that." Republican Senator Chuck Grassley of Iowa has joined Johnson in calls for federal transparency, with a joint letter from the two requesting a transcribed interview with agency officials. FBI officials initiated a scheme to downplay derogatory information on Hunter Biden for the purpose of shutting down investigative activity relating to his potential criminal exposure by labeling it disinformation, their letter reads. Dave Arnold, spokesperson for Meta, referred Newsweek to a series of tweets responding to the criticism of Zuckerberg, which stated in part that Facebook lifted the demotion of the story after 7 days when it wasn't rated false by independent fact-checkers. Conservatives' ire toward the alleged blacking out of the Hunter Biden story has ramped up in association with the initial search warrant exercised on Trump's Mar-a-Lago home, as well as the August 26th unsealing of the affidavit that revealed Trump's possession of over 180 classified documents. Trump has continually denied he lost the 2020 election and is now referring to media reports about Hunter Biden's laptop as a way to avenge his defeat. Former allies of his, including his former Vice President Mike Pence, have stated that elections are about the future. Conservative Fox News host Laura Ingraham has said that maybe it's time to turn the page if we can get someone who has all Trump's policies, who's not Trump. Newsweek reached out to Trump for further comment.
Okay. Now, I look at the comment section and I've seen many people say, oh, well, it'd be different if Trump was in office. And this is how I see it. I'm not for any Democrat or Republican president, especially if that president sat in office for a term or two terms and they did not do anything about our reparations. So I know many of you talk about Trump, and if Trump would have won, if Trump did this and Trump that. I'm sorry, I can't back Trump. Trump did not give us reparations. I can't back him. I can't back Biden. Biden hasn't given us any reparations. So that's why I'm not in support of either party because neither one have done anything for us and they continue to do it. And there these people have been trying to make a big deal out of the tiniest gesture. Those things are not good enough. We don't need symbolism. We need real, solid tangibles. Anything short of that, you haven't done a thing. And that's how I feel about Trump, and that's how I feel about Biden. So, those of you on this Trump thing, I just can't get on that bandwagon with you. But I will continue to be on the sidelines and just watch each one do badly and do absolutely nothing for us. I mean, when was the last time we even heard about HR 40? We're not hearing a thing. Not that that's a good bill, it's a horrible bill, but we're not even hearing about it. And I remember when reparations came up when Donald Trump was in office, he said he just couldn't see it happening. That's exactly what Donald Trump said. So I'm sorry, I just can't join you, but I guess we all have our own opinions. That's how I see it. But Donald Trump, one thing I know for sure, just can't call for some an election out of the blue and it actually happens. I mean, they're hanging January 6th over Donald Trump's head. And to be honest with you, I've listened to some of those GOP politicians. They are looking for some of them just want a whole different candidate to run in 2024. They don't want Donald Trump at all. So, y'all, please tell me what you think about Donald Trump still on the same rant about election fraud and he wants to be reinstated as president. He's still on the same thing from when he left office. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.